call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Conita Gutierrez Giron,
Present.
Councilor David G. Romero,
Here.
Councilor Barbara Casey,
Here.
Councilor Vincent Howell,
Here.
Councilor David A. Ulibarri Jr.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have a quorum.
Thank you very much.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Casey, would you do the moment of silence, please?
Let us take a moment of silence to pray for the people in Las Vegas who have lost family members and other loved ones, friends that have passed this last month, and also to pray for Las Vegas so that working together we can help the city to grow and thrive and become the true gem that it can be. We ask this in the name of our Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Mayor,
Councilor Romero.
move to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilor Casey,
Yes.
Councilor Ulibarri Jr.,
Yes.
Councilor Howell,
Yes.
Councilor Romero.
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Romero and a second by Councilor Casey and Councilor Ulibarri Jr. Madam Mayor, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item is the public input, and we have Mr. Marshall Poole. Mr. Poole.
Good evening, Mr. Pohl. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Madam Mayor, councilors, this is a report for last month for May. We took in 208 animals during the month. That's almost 7 animals a day. 89 dogs, including 20 puppies, 117 cats, including 22 kittens. 82 of the 89 dogs had no identification, which is, as you know, a continuing problem. And 80 of the 82 dogs had no evidence of a rabies vaccination at all. We returned 53 animals back to their owner guardians. We adopted 26 animals locally in addition to that. We trapped 47 feral cats last month and took them to Santa Fe for spaying and neutering, and then they get their ears tipped so that we can tell that they've been spayed and neutered. And we transported 82 cats and dogs to 6 different agencies in Colorado and other places for adoption. There were 2 rabies bite holes for the month, is all. The crematory is being repaired. It's been down for a number of months and it's going to be repaired. We transported 24 dogs, citizen-owned dogs, to Santa Fe for $25 spay neuters. And of course we supplement that $25 with grant money that we have. And in addition to that, we hosted a mobile spay neuter veterinary clinic. And they pull up in a trailer with a surgical suite, a vet and a couple of vet techs, and then the citizens come in at 7 o'clock in the morning and check in their dogs or cats, and they get spayed or neutered, they get rabies shot, they get microchipped, and they start to pick them up after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, that's $25 to a citizen. We had a local vet on call. One of our local vets was on call in case there was an emergency, a surgical emergency after the surgery, but it's very rare, and there wasn't one. So we did 25 animals that day. So, and then, and the cost to us is much higher. It's like more than $100 per surgery for that. But we have grant money to cover that, and then we don't have to take the animals to Santa Fe and back for, to the Santa Fe clinic. So it's a lot easier for us and for the citizens to just bring the animals to the shelter and pick them up right here at the shelter the same day. I have to announce our volunteer of the month. It's actually Ken and Jane are their names. They're retired. They're in their 80s. Ken was a professor here at Highlands. They live in Santa Fe right now, but they every week for the last 16 years
They have transported, they've made all the rounds of central and northeastern New Mexico picking up puppies. And the estimate is that they, over 16 years, transported 25,000 puppies up to Colorado for adoption.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, that's evidence that we have an overpopulation here in central and northern New Mexico. But they were great volunteers. They stopped every week here. They stopped at all the little shelters around and transported up to Colorado. And there are a bunch of volunteers that are going to try to take their place, but it's going to be hard to break their record. Anyway, thank you very much, Mayor and Council.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Poole. That concludes our public input, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item are the discussion items. We have number 1, Resolution 19-27, assigning official representatives and signatory authority for the New Mexico Environment Department. We have Ms. Gilberry. Good evening, Ms.
Mayor,
Gilberry.
councilors, Madam Manager. This first item, the resolution, is a requirement by the State of New Mexico Environment Department. This is the $400,000 that the City of Las Vegas and the Utilities Department was, I guess, I don't know if awarded is the correct term, but provided by the state legislature in the most recent capital outlay funding. So this is the first part of the process in moving forward to be able to obtain that funding, finalize that funding, and move forward with the construction. So one of the first steps is a resolution from the council assigning official representatives and signatory authority for the grant agreement. So on the resolution 1927, the governing body, the request is for the governing body to authorize interim city manager Anne Marie Gallegos and her successor to sign the grant agreement. Interim finance director Tana Vega or her successors are listed as the authorized officers, and the interim city manager and Tana both and their successors are signatory authority on any future reimbursement requests related to this project. So this is again the first step, having the resolution approved and the signature sheet so that we can provide it back to NMED to continue with the process of moving forward with the funding.
Questions, comments?
Mayor?
Councilor Casey.
Thank you. I don't have a question or a problem with any of it, except that just on the spelling of things, the second sentence at the top, it says the resolution of the City of Las Vegas, New Mexico authorizing the assignment of authorized officers with the S in parentheses, signatory authorities with the S in parentheses, but the plural of authorities is not spelled that way. It's spelled I-E-S. So instead of just the S, it should be I-E-S.
Okay.
And agents.
We can correct that.
And then the next to the last paragraph, I can get there real quick. Where it says interim finance director or successors are the authorized officer, that should be say officers because you have R.
So, Council, I did look at that one, and it would be one person. It would either be Tana or her successor, and that's why I had it as a singular.
Well, then you need to change the R to is. Interim finance director Tana
Or
Vega
successor.
or successor is the authorized officer who is authorized to sign all of the documents because your subject and verb don't match.
Okay.
So
So-
one or the other,
If it's plural on the successors, because it could be multiple successors.
right?
Okay. Interim finance director Tana Vega or successors. Maybe it would just be best to add the plural at the end of officers.
Okay.
Well,
It's less work.
I was not good in English. I do math.
Okay.
Okay, we'll make those two changes.
Okay, thank you.
Authorities and correct officers.
I'm sorry. That's right, you got it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So, okay, any other questions? What is the pleasure of the board?
Consent agenda.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item is item number 2, reject request for bids number 2019-11 for the Valley and Chavez Street gas line replacement. We have Ms. Gilbert.
Mayor, councilors, Madam Manager, back in 2018, we started a project to replace a section of gas line on Valley and on Chavez Street. This project started because we were short-staffed. Well, at the time, the reason why we were starting the process to go out to bid was because we were short-staffed. We had 4 gas employees, I believe, and that was not enough to be able to perform this project, and it needed to be done, so we started moving forward with taking it out to bid. Since then, we have acquired, I believe, 4 more employees in the gas division, and staff are confident that they can do this project. In addition, I had them do a cost analysis for the city staff to do it, and it is approximately $125,000 to $150,000 more to take this out to the contractor than the city staff's estimate. So I'm requesting to reject the bids, and I believe that is the correct process. If we have a bid that has followed the complete process, we actually need to request the council to reject the bids so that we can move forward with having the city staff perform this project. We did have 2 bidders, which was Hayes and Double E. Hayes Plumbing did come back at a lower amount. Let me see. If I recall, the only concern with Hayes was at that point they were not actually qualified. They were in the process of obtaining their certifications. That had nothing to do with my request to reject this bid. I know they were in the process of obtaining those certifications, and I believe they would have done it within time, but that was not a reasoning for my decision to request rejection of the bids.
Questions, comments? Councilor Howell?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Gilberry,
Yes, Councilor.
if I may ask, Madam Attorney, are there going to be any legal ramifications for us since we didn't even bid on the project? I don't know if we can bid on the project, but there was 2 actual bids, and they went through a lot of work in trying to get their bids in, and now we're going to reject it or wanting to reject it.
Well, Councilor Howell, members of the council, in anticipation of that question, I did some research, and state law provides there's NMSA 13-1-131, rejection or cancellation of bids or requests for proposals. State law provides that all bids can be rejected in whole or in part when it's in the best interest of the agency or local public body. A determination containing the reasons shall be made part of the procurement file.
Okay.
And if
Ms.
I might add
Gilberry,
as well, I believe we do add that into our bid packages, and we do make bidders well aware that the city can reject all bids.
So when did you make a decision on this?
It
After the
was,
bid opening, or?
yes, Councilor, it was made after the bid opening. My decision was made after the bid opening.
And what made that decision?
My staff had come back to me, and I had asked them to refresh my memory, one, on the origins of this project, and then what was the reasoning why we went out to bid, and then if anything had changed. And my staff had informed me that by the time we had opened bids, things had changed.
So what was the reason for going out on the bids?
Councilor,
What
we
was
did
that?
not have staffing last year when we started this project to be able to perform the project. We were understaffed.
And what about this year?
We do have, I believe it's 4 additional employees, more than we had last year, and we have the staffing to perform it. And I did verify with the gas manager if he did have adequate staffing to perform this project, and he stated yes.
And they're experienced? I know
The leaders, the
regional
team
staff.
leaders are experienced,
Right.
and we have some mid-level ones, two employees that have been with us for coming up on a year, and then one who is fairly new. So we do have plenty of experience, and then the one who is fairly new, he will be gaining some experience from this project.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilor.
Any other questions, Councilor? Casey?
How many,
Sorry.
how many people are needed to do this work?
Counselor, I would be best if I came back to you with that answer. I mean, I could give you an educated based on my working with the staff. We do have We do need a supervisor, superintendent on the staff. We do need an equipment operator. We do need people operating the fusion equipment. We do need a laborer in the pit itself. So a minimum of probably 5 to 6 people would be a minimum. And previously, we had 4 people, including the manager of the department. So the staffing wasn't there to be able to perform all aspects of this project.
And so if we're going to be using people that are on staff already, will that leave other areas short?
No, Counselor, they actually do plan out their schedule, and we did have a project planned for July, and while it's going to be done in conjunction with water, because water's not ready for it, we're going to have to slide that project, so this project will be able to slide into the schedule in the place of the Sabino project.
And how long will it take?
Counselor, I would have to get back to you on that.
That's all.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, one other thing is that the different departments are interact with each other, and if there's anyone that needs any additional assistance, we have public facilities, we have water, we have several other individuals that can go out and assist as well.
Councilor Hall?
Oh, did you?
Are you done?
I'm done.
Thank you, Mayor. So, Ms. Gilberto, you said that we can reject this because of the community's interest.
Actually, it was the attorney who advised us of that.
Right, I
Correct?
think she also set it up in her paperwork here.
I believe it would be in the best interest of
Right.
for
So what is the best interest? Is it financial?
that is a part of my decision and my recommendation is financial, plus whenever we can do anything with city staff, we need to do that first. The reason why we go to contractors is if it's outside of our scope and abilities, or if there is a potential hazard associated with that project that our staff are not prepared for. So
How
in
much
this case,
is the financial savings?
the financial savings, it was estimated at $75,000 for city staff to do it, so you're looking at $130,000.
Okay, I just, working with gas, and I'm sure the gas staff is very experienced. Like you said, the leaders are.
Well, all of the employees that actually interact with the gas line must be OQ qualified by the state. So, for instance, this one employee that is junior, he won't actually be touching the gas lines or doing anything that he's not qualified to do. Every other employee, with the exception of that one employee, is OQ qualified to work on gas lines.
I just get concerned about working with that type of.
This whole crew is completely, this whole crew, with the exception of the one junior and newer employee, is already experienced with working on gas lines. They're fully capable and prepared and ready to do the job.
When is this project started?
We're hoping to start it in July, right after the fiscal year starts.
Okay. And where exactly is that again?
It'll be on Valley and Chavez. It'll be on both streets.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any more questions? So
Councilor?
within this project, there's going to be any street cuts?
There will be street cuts.
And with those, will the pavement also be replaced?
The pavement will be replaced.
And that's still with the savings?
Yes.
Okay. It is a pleasure of the board. Is it?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Madam Mayor, that concludes our discussion items. I don't have a need for executive
Do
session.
we have a need for executive session? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilor Romero?
Yes.
Councilor Howell?
Yes.
Councilor Yulabri Jr.?
Yes.
Councilor Casey?
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey and a second by Councilor Yulabri Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.